Welcome to the live arrivals at the end of leg 3 of the Ocean Race Europe, and Sailing Poland is about to take third place. Abby Ehler is with me, and Abby, I think probably the first thing to point out is the speed that Sailing Poland is going. We've already had two boats coming through the finish line, Merpori Foundation Racing Team taking the win, and Axonabel Ocean Racing taking second place in both of those boats. I mean, it was a real drift through the line, and look at this, I mean, 8 knots for Sailing Poland.
Yeah, I wonder whether this land breeze has picked up just enough to get them over the finish line. But this is going to be a painful finish for Sailing Poland. I mean, they've sailed so well through the Balearic Islands. Their routing was stellar. They've extended a huge lead until the final moments of maybe about 6 hours ago, where they just sailed into a hole, and the fleet coming up behind them have just taken advantage of that. So this is going to be a painful finish for Bauer and his team on Sailing Poland.
At least they are not drifting through that line, because you are absolutely right that there's no justice in this result. I mean, this is a pretty good display of the sort of cruelty, shall we say, of what sailing can do. I mean, for such a young team, for a team that has been matching the pace of some of the more experienced sailors out on the course, to go into this leg and then really show them what they could do off the line as well. And there they go through the finish line. And we're just trying to bring you some live pictures, but it's very dark out on the water at the moment, and we're trying not to blind the sailors with our searchlights. But you know, Abby, have they done enough in this leg to show everybody how well they've sailed, or is it just going to be that third place, and actually that doesn't really tell the full story, just a single digit on a result sheet?
I think this team have got to be super proud with their result here. I mean, they're young. Sailing these boats is hard, you know, and it's a competitive fleet. So I think Bauer will rally the troops. He's known for his comebacks. He did it in the last race. I've known.
Yes.
I have experience of that firsthand, and he's just got that very pragmatic attitude of, pick yourselves back up, learn from your mistakes, and he will bring this team together so that they're hungry for a good performance on Saturday, so that they go out with their head held high and pleased with their result overall.
A very good point, bringing up Saturday, because of course the story is not over. Let's have a look at the scores and exactly where those numbers are lying. These are the provisional results, and we've been sort of tabulating these as the boats have been coming in. So now we have 3 scores that are confirmed, with Merpori Foundation Racing Team on 18, Axonabel Ocean Racing on 17, and Sailing Poland on 15. The other scores are sort of where they are at the moment on the water, ranked with closeness to the line. But the crucial thing is that Sailing Poland, arguably who should have won this leg, and I'm sure that I'm not going to be the only person saying that. I'm sure some of the other teams will be saying that. But with Sailing Poland now on 15 points, if they win the coastal race on Saturday, that would see them on 18 points. And if Merpori Foundation Racing Team do not feature on the podium in the coastal race, then they will get no extra points. Sailing Poland will tie and then break that tie in their favour, having won the last race. So for Bauer-Becking, as you say, Abby, it will have been a bittersweet leg. It has not been the result that they deserve. However, all is not lost, and they can still potentially sit on top of the final overall scores. Let's have a look at see who's coming in behind them. That's Sailing Poland. That's our 1, 2, and 3 for this leg confirmed. Childhood 1. Abby, we've been watching this boat coming in from the north, from the shore, and well, at times it looked like they struggled, but if you're a fan of Childhood 1, you'll be pretty pleased to see that they're making 9.2 knots.
Yeah, I think I'm really pleased to see them holding on to that 4th position. I mean, it just could have gone so badly for them in one sense. I mean, I feel like they've taken the bold option from the start, taking that northerly route, and I guess they were just a few points adrift on the leaderboard, and it was worth them taking a riskier route, looking for that big win. So hopefully they'll be happy with this finish. Yeah, it's probably not what they wanted, but equally it could have gone very wrong the other way.
Yeah, especially when you see what we're seeing now on that tracker is how much Viva Mexico, Ambersail 2, the Austrian Ocean Race Project have advanced offshore. And there was a good point where we thought it wasn't just going to be Sailing Poland that looked like they were going to do some damage on that offshore side. It was going to be all three of these other VO65. So for Childhood 1 to now be underway at 9 knots, that's looking pretty good. At the moment, Childhood 1 is seeing some pretty good breeze as well. 7.5 knots coming in just slightly right of due north. So they're going to be sailing upwind at the moment on port. Means some more tacks to go, but I guess, Abby, they just hold on to that port tack, get on top or in between the finish line and Viva Mexico and Ambersail 2, and that should be pretty good. And we can bring you some live pictures now of Team Childhood. So the sun's starting to come up, and with the boats coming into the shore and the sailors well, finding themselves with a little bit of room, our onboard media reporter, who they do also have sailing responsibilities as well, is able to get the cameras set up and working. So, Abby, as I was saying, port tack for Childhood 1, cross, I guess, Viva Mexico, and then you start to sort of breathe a little bit more easy.
Yeah, indeed. I think they'll be in a very tense situation at the moment, just desperate to hold on to that fourth place. But the camera image there, we were seeing that they do have breeze. It looks like the masthead zero they've got deployed. They've got a good amount of heel. They've got good pace there. And certainly from what little I can see on the water, it looks like it might just hold them all the way to the finish line.
Oh, there we go. A little bit of cleaning of the lens, a little bit of sharpening up the picture. And yeah, difficult to see the breeze too far ahead. But I guess if you're a fan of Childhood 1, you can take solace in the fact that Sailing Poland that just came through the line went through in solid breeze and sort of solid conditions. So it should be breeze that holds the whole way. You'd certainly hope so. So Childhood 1 coming through. I mean, Abby, this is a boat that you know relatively well, and I mean, masthead code 0 that I'm sure that you've spent quite a bit of time looking at yourself.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I mean, great to use it in this convention. So they're probably in about, I guess, about 7-8 knots of breeze and not quite full keel. Got the weight stacked as far forward as you possibly can. Everything down below will be up in the bow. And you just think back over the leg. I mean, this sail probably would have seen a lot of use over the last leg, and they would have all been sleeping up in the bow. So certainly not a comfortable leg in terms of living and existing on board.
Well, this will be the reason why there are so many people up on deck and kind of like pushing through the discomfort. Viva Mexico coming in from the south. And they're coming in with a little bit less speed, 7.1 knots at the moment, compared to the 9 with Team Childhood 1. And I mean, I guess from that image, it's not the clearest, but I think we can kind of agree that it looks a little bit lighter. Certainly the boat's a little bit more upright. And just looking at some of the latest wind data, it looks like that the breeze is just slightly softer where Viva Mexico is, and perhaps a little bit further round to the right. But crucially, the conditions for Viva Mexico, the conditions for Childhood 1 seem to be pretty much the same, which means, Abby, that you'd be again confident for Childhood 1 that the breeze is going to hold as they start coming across.
Yeah, indeed. I think whatever breeze they've got now, it was looking pretty stable for Sailing Poland's finish, and I would say that as from the images that we've seen from Childhood and from Viva Mexico, that this breeze is going to hold. It's whether that's just a land breeze that started to extend off the shore, but I think safe to say that they're going to finish in this breeze. So it's just going to be who can hold on to that edge ahead.
Well, Ambersail are to the right of Viva Mexico, and You can almost be guilty of concluding a little bit too much from the onboard images, but that to me looks a little bit more healed. And one of the interesting things with Amber Sail, as I say, to the right of Viva Mexico, they just seem to be sailing a little bit higher. And as I was saying before, with Team Childhood, the breeze is coming to about 20 degrees to the north. Viva Mexico, it's a little bit further round. It's another sort of 15 degrees to the right. But for Amber Sail 2, they're sailing a little bit higher. So it looks good for Childhood 1. It looks like they're going to be able to cross the bows of Viva Mexico and Amber Sail 2. But it does look like the Mexicans and Amber Sail 2 will be able to close up that distance. So still a little bit left to play here for the VO65. Certainly Viva Mexico and Amber Sail 2 are going to lock horns when those two boats are tacking into the finish. But the good thing is, for fans of sailing Poland, they deserved a lot more. However, a spot on the podium at the finish of leg 3 for the Polish team. And with it, walking away with 5 points, which keeps their hopes alive of an overall victory. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll be back with the next finish of the VO65 as we keep moving down the fleet. And then it will be the turn of the IMOCA 60s a little bit later on. We'll see you soon.